Bear with me, Akiyamanakwa, Salakia. Oh, there it goes. All right, there it goes. Kang, hey, Shalom, Shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth, to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth, and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, shalom, beloved Akiam and Akwaf. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to tap into a very brief live stream. This is going to be, quick and to the point. All right, I came across an article on Zero Hedge, all right, dated February 18, 2026. And the title reads, Has America Reached Peak Idiocracy, bro? All right, and we've often said, you heard the brothers mention how, as far as Babylon's concerned, you Americans are the stupidest ones going. All right, you're the last to find out anything, and you're the last to react, all right, to the reality of detrimental governmental transition that's happening right before your eyes. Okay, and ultimately, what's happening before you, modern day Egyptians' eyes, all right, is a transition of government. It's a transition of a system. It's going from regular monetary, all right, to technocracy, all right, as far as economically, all right. Esau, in the form of the global elite, all right, they're stripping away, okay, the Constitution. Forget about it. All right, everything that your forefathers stood for and what you think you established, all right, throughout the course of this place's inception, all right, hey, your counterparts, okay, are planning on transitioning, all right, and unbeknownst to you, hey, you're not going to be on no level. White supremacy, all that type of rhetoric is going to be out the window. All right, white privilege, I should say, rather. All right, and you can already feel it. These Edomites are on the same level as a nigga. All right, you have no. I'm seeing certain videos pop up on my feed with Edomites getting called up by the cops. There's certain videos that pop up on my YouTube. I'll be watching them from time to time. Pretty much going into like Crime Watch and all this other crazy stuff. Right, and Esau's getting caught up, man. Esau's getting bagged, bro, and they're getting charged up. You know what I mean? They get hit with the book, when they end up going to court. Doing all types of time. For charges where they would have just got a slap on the wrist and walked out of court, pay the fee, and they're good. But again, times are changing. What's that? Deuteronomy 30:7. All right, the curses that are upon us are going upon Esau, bro, and he's heathen. All right, but this is the thing, bro. You Babylonians are the stupidest thing going, bro. All right, and you're the last to find out anything. Now check this out. Bear with me, Akiyam and Akwath. All right. Let me get this real quick. Bear with me. When you get this word, bear with me. Let me see. This phone's acting crazy. All right, here we go. When you get this word idiocracy, right? It goes into what? A society or group, all right, that is controlled by or consists of people of low intelligence, bro. All right, and when you take a glance into Esau's world, all right, in his current society, the empire that he's built, all right, you can see there's nothing but what? Lack of intelligence displayed. All right, this man's built, factories by waterways, okay? And these factories are what? Polluting, all right, seeping into waterways and polluting the whole water system, the ecosystem. You see? All right, this man has called himself, bringing forth gasoline engines and, planes and trains. And all they've done is polluted the earth. All right, trucks. All right, nothing Esau's done showed or displayed any type of wisdom. Okay? Let's read this again. So, idiocracy, a society or group that is controlled by or consists of people of low intelligence, bro. And Esau stands on this IQ, intelligence quotient, where he tries to measure the other nations via some test that he concocted to make himself look good. But in the reality, he doesn't have any type of reasoning abilities, bro. All right? Look at his system, bro. There was no reasoning applied. All right, they're spraying chemtrails, bro. They're not looking at the reality of what they're doing. In their eyes, they're justifying being able to, I don't know what they think they're doing. But we know it's not good. Right? Let's get this article real quick. Oh, matter of fact, let me get this precept. Because what did that definition say? A society or group that is controlled by or consists of people of low intelligence. And hey, shit rolls downhill, bro. All right, and the global elite, all right, control this situation in the form of Amalek. All right, you don't believe me? Go look into what they own. And what you're going to find out is that they own media, they control the medical industry, they control all this shit, bro. Okay? This is the book of, let me see here. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 1, and it reads, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered, bro. Okay? The government of a prudent man, of a wise man, all right, is well ordered, bro. Okay? And you can clearly see there's no order. There's no order here, man. All right? Because this society is not being led by a prudent man or prudent men. Okay? It's being led by wicked, covetous, okay, lustful, abominable, profane, okay, Edomite men. All right, look at As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right, so the society that you see before you, okay, is going to be a reflection of who the ruler is. Okay, so when we gaze, when we gaze out into Babylon the Great, and it doesn't matter where you are, all right, when you gaze out into Babylon the Great, what you're seeing before you, two niggas holding hands, okay, two bitches kissing, all right, children being able to change their makeup. I'll say it like that, you know, because we got to be careful what we say. All right, and shalom to you, beloved Aki Aminakwat on the comment board. And they're going to tune in later. Hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Barakatham to you, beloved Aki Aminakwat. All right, when you take a glance, oh, my phone's about to die on me, Salakia. All right, when you take a glance into the nucleus family, all right, when you got Eve leading the charge, all right, leading the whole household, all right, to destruction. Okay, when you see man, listen, man, Esau, okay, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, all right, is the reason why what we're seeing before us in the form of this diabolical, upside down, bizarro world, okay, Esau's to blame, evil E, okay. I'm gonna continue on. Look at that's the spirit. I'm in that same chapter. The book of continuing on in Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, right? Chapter 10 and verse 3. An unwise king, okay, an unwise king destroyeth his people, bro. And we see what happened back in 2020 with the C-19er, right? The greatest crime to humanity, man. Okay, look at an unwise king destroyeth his people. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited, bro. All right? And upon the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai, order will be established, bro. All right? Order will be established, and the earth will gain its strength back. All right? And and the earth is going to become a paradise once again, bro. Because it's going to be being ruled under the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, bro. You see? Let's get a little more. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable, bro. All right? And again, it starts with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, okay? But the judges consist of who? The men of the Lord, bro. The first fruit, the Alahayim, the 144. Okay? That's what the governing body consists of. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, King David, all right? The 12 disciples and the 144,000. Those first fruits, which we qualify to possibly be. All right, Lord willing, we are. All right, but let me go to this article real quick, right? Because again, this is the spirit that I stumbled upon this article through the spirit. Because as we know, Esau, you know, he stands on this this intelligence quotient, you know, IQ shit, you know, which really has no it really has no substance when you take a glance at how this nigga's been moving. Okay. All right, check this out. Again, this is from Zero Hedge. The title reads, Has America reached peak idiocracy? And that's a question they're raising. There's a question mark there. Yes, we can answer that question. And you niggas always been stupid. The Babylonians are the stupidest ones out. Right? Look, it's dated Wednesday, February 18th. Let's get a little bit of this, right? It says, we live in the lowest common denominator society. This is true. Look, for the last several decades, virtually every major institution in our society has become less civilized. Why do you think that is? Esau, the leader. Look, and that is become, and that is because our entire population has become less civilized. 20 years ago, a film entitled Idiocracy was released. It was about an average American that was selected for a top secret hibernation program, but is forgotten and left to awaken to a future so incredibly moronic that he's easily the most intelligent person alive. It was an incredibly stupid movie. Now, I want to say this real quick. Technology, right? These phones, AI, Google, ChatGPT, all right, all these various devices that Esau has exposed you people to, that you rely on, has dumbed you down incredibly, bro. Okay, where typical Generation Z, all right, nigga, can't do simple math. All right, you're being charged something. You're being charged with something that's say $19.50. Here it is. You got the change. They don't even realize to give you back the dollar. They got to break out the calculator, man. Okay, why? Because they relied on this technology that Esau's exposed you to. You see, showing you that what? At the end of the day, Esau's ways are detrimental, man. All right, and he's not wired to do good. He's not wired to be smart. All right, as much as he thinks he's smart, as much as he displays some type of wisdom, with a 3-piece suit, $1,000,000 words, comb over, $2,000 glasses, $3,000 suit, okay, gator shoes, and a Mercedes Benz. Even though he displayed, but nah. Okay, he's the stupidest nigga going. All right, and his society reflects that. This is how we know. You see? Let's get a little bit more here. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Okay, here we go. It was an incredibly stupid movie, but the truth is that we are living it. We are living it right now. Yes, we are. Con. Okay, did you see the Super Bowl halftime show? The FCC has ruled that it didn't violate any federal decency regulations. Of course, we might as well not have any decency regulations at all, because our television shows and our movies are filled with some of the raunchiest materials imaginable, and nobody ever seems to get in trouble for it. Okay? Of course, that is only part of the equation. And these television shows, media, Hollywood, who's controlling that? Amalek, the Small Hats, Esau, okay, the JOO. You see? Okay, Pornhub, all these it's a Small Hat. They control these things, bro. All right? Let's get a little bit more here. All right? Of course, that is only part of the equation. Most of the programming that we constantly consume also seems to be specifically designed for people of low intelligence, bro. All right? And you also notice, right, in these shows, they always got to throw in a Momo. All right? They always got an alley hoop. All right? And a Momo in these shows. Hold on for a second. They always got an alley hoop or a Momo in these shows, movies. There's always a Momo in the cut. Okay? Because that's the type of immorality, profanity, all right, that Esau's bringing through. All right? You see? Because again, we got to remember that whole Momo agenda, that Esau, that's part of his, what's the word? What's the term? Depopulation agenda. Okay? Because come on, man, you already know 2 women can't bring forth life. 2 men can't bring forth life. And this is why Esau's pushing that agenda. The Momo, ABCDEFG. Okay, agenda. Okay? Which again, reflection shows the lack of his intelligence, man. Okay? He's an idiot. Esau's a dummy. All right? And he used the IQ, this intelligence quotient shit, to pretty much psych himself out. You see? Because he knows he's a base man. Let me go here real quick. And Lord willing, I'm going to get to the comment board too and get a couple of pieces from you, beloved Akiyam. And I do got to close out pretty abruptly. But bear with me. Let's get this real quick. This is the book of Job, chapter 30, real quick. Right in verse 1. And it reads, I'm going to read down. But now, they that are younger than I have me in derision. What's Job mean by that? All right? Yeah, Esau came out first in the flesh. But what Job understood is that there was a priesthood since before the earth began, man. Okay, when you read Genesis, the first chapter, when it says God, it's talking to Elohim, the powers, the 144, the first fruits, the men of the Lord that were with Yahweh Shai, that brought all this forth that you see before you, man. And dare us to prove it. All right, that'll be a lesson for another time. But you, beloved Akiyam, already know. And Akwath. Okay, there was a priesthood in the heaven before the earth began, bro. Okay, we're first born through the spirit before evil E. That's why Job is saying this. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, right? Whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock, bro. Google bestiality, people laying with dogs, German shepherds. What are you going to find? Evil E. The Shedamite. You're going to find the Shedamite and the Edomite, okay? For the majority, man, the masses of these cases, doing the most heinous things to dogs, bro. Okay? This is them. This is the Neanderthal. All right, the wild man. Okay? Evil E. He's him. Look at with the so-called white man. Look at whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, and whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, and former time desolate and waste. Right. We got to remember, Esau, there was a time where a sale was placed upon this guy. Okay? And he was what? In Europe, all right? The pit through, wearing undergarment, all right? Until it just disintegrated. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to just throw that back on. Niggas taking when he would bathe, you know what I mean? Throw the same undergarment back on. Boom. Okay? Wash it for what? You know what I mean? Shit just disintegrate on him. Okay? Old lady eating. Man, listen, I'm going to leave it there. Let's continue on. Let's keep going. Look at who cut up, hold on for a second. Where did I leave off? Right. Okay, verse 4. Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat, which, mallows and juniper root, that is good for you. All right? I ain't going to hold you. Right? But this is just tapping into how base they were. They were moving like some beasts. Okay, watch. Look at. They were driven forth from among men. Right? They cried after them as after a thief. Okay, right. Esau was driven from society, bro. All right, he was the raccoon of the neighborhood that you were always shooing from the trash cans, man. Okay, and it talks to a thief here because this nigga he's a thief, well appointed. Matter of fact, let me get a quick precept and we'll jump right back. Real quick, this is the book of Sirach. Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 36, and verse 26, and it reads this: Who will trust a thief, well appointed, that skippeth from city to city? Esau's a vagabond. All right, look at. So who will believe a man that hath no house, and lodgeth wheresoever the night taketh him, man? Okay? Khan, the possum of the block, Khan, Malak. You already know. Through. Okay? And all his skeletons that he'd been hiding in the closet are being found out. See? Esau, he's quick to call us monkeys and, you know what I'm saying? Orangutans or whatever. But this nigga literally, not only do they look like monkeys with them thin-ass lips, but they have a history, all right, of being beast-like. All right? This whole caveman history and Neanderthal, and that's their history. All right? Out of all the 18 nations, no other nation has that history but him. Why? Because he's the base man, the beast man, the wild man, okay? Evil E, okay? The self-proclaimed white man, bro. All right, look, let's continue on. Right, back in Job 30 and 5, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, in the rocks, bro. This is how we know. That one precept is how we know everything Job was talking about from verse 1 down to where we are now. He was talking about Esau. You see? Come on, bro. Job was talking about evil E. All we got to do is go to Obadiah. Okay? Come on now. This nigga dwelt in Petra, bro. All right, Mount Seir. You see that? He stole that from the Hamites, bro. Because the Hamites were there first. He stole that land. This nigga been stealing since the beginning, bro. Evil E. Again, going back to that Sirach 36. All right, he go from city to city. He ain't got no place to lodge. He's a vagabond. All right, let's continue on. Oh my goodness. Job 30 and 7. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were braying at one point, all crazy, you know? Man, Esau, man. All your dirt's coming out on you. Look at, they were children of fools, yeah. Children of base men. They were violent in the earth, man. Okay, that's why it's no surprise what we're finding out via the Epstein files and all this other stuff that they've been doing. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, bro. That's not even, you know what I mean? That's just like, man, when we find out what he's really been doing, when we get into the kingdom, bro, we're going to be justified to meditate that terror. We're going to be justified in it, man. Okay? What Evil E's been truly doing, we're going to be exposed to. We're going to come to the understanding. And, oh, man, Evil E. All right, I got to fly. Let me get this real quick from the Beloved Brothers. Let me get at least one, and I got to go. Salakia. I'm going to get this from the beloved brother Yasha Math, the beloved priest, right? Out of Mississippi. Shalom, beloved Akia. Yahweh Bashim Yashai Barakatah. And Yahweh Bashim Yashai Barakatam to all you beloved Akiyam and Akwath on the comment board. Yahweh Bashim Yashai Barakatam to you beloved Akiyam and Akwath. Let me get this from the brother. As a matter of fact, let's close out with this. This is one of my favorite precepts, and we were in that chapter. Let's go on back. The book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach. All right, chapter 10 and verse 10. The physician, okay, which is Yahweh Shai, right, cutteth off a long disease, which is Esau. All right, this nigga's a disease. He's the cancer of the earth. Okay? And upon the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai, Esau is going to be cut off. Okay? The scepter is going to be stripped from his hand. The crown is going to be knocked off his head. And this nigga's going into a 50-foot pit with mud blankets. Okay? Look it. And he that is today is a king, I'm excited, forgive me. And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die, bro. Okay? He's out of here, man. Evil East time, all right, has expired. He knows, we know that, and he knows that. How do we know he knows that? Revelations 12, bro. All right, Revelations the 12th chapter. He knoweth that he hath but a short time. How does he know? 2 reasons. We're telling him, all right, and his warlocks and wizards and witches that he surrounds himself around, all right, so he can tap into Satan, drink children's blood, and do all this crazy shit on the left-hand side. They're telling him. They're like, look, we don't know what to say. We don't know what to tell you, man. Okay? We don't know what to tell you. I mean, all we can tell you is just keep drinking blood. You know what I mean? Actually, keep exercising those sacrifices, and hopefully it'll pull through for you, man. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what to tell you, bro. There's no rubbing on the crystal ball and having it go your way. We don't know what to tell you. Okay? Hey, time is against you, man. Prophecy's against you, man. All right? Evil East through. He's out of here. Hey, shalom, beloved Akim and Akwa. Lord willing, you will edify our Baratazah. You were spiritually fed through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Akiyam. Hey, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Hey, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, again, Lord willing, you beloved Akiyam and Akwath were edified, spiritually fed. Abaratazah through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Hey, Lord willing, I'll be back later. Abaratazah, the Lord gives me something. You know, Lord willing. Hey, Abaratazah, man. Lord willing, I'll be back. Hey, till next time, beloved Akiyam and Akwath. Hey, till next time. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.